The worst possible thing you could say when you walk into a car dealership. I spent 5 years with Mercedes-Benz, 5 with General Motors, and the worst thing a person could say when they walk in is, if you could just get me to this payment, we got a deal.
So your loan's probably still like 19, which means you got to pay to get out. You're upside down. It's called negative equity.
Tag your best friend ASAP, and let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Welcome to Car Shopping Questions and Answers. This is episode 25. We do these shows Monday through Thursday at 3 p.m. That is going to be our final time, because we've gone back and forth over the last couple of weeks deciding what times we were going to do the show, but we are locked in on 3 p.m. Eastern time. So that gives everybody a chance to, from every single time zone, to tap in with us, get questions answered, get their pressing car shopping questions answered. So who's shopping for a car now? Type me in the comments. We're live on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and we'll do some rapid fire Q&A for about the next 90 minutes. And you know, if you don't know me, my name is Deshone. I'm publicly known as Deshone the Auto Advisor. And what I did was I invented a system for car shopping online and making dealers and banks bid for your business that saves people a lot more money than they're saving the old-fashioned way. So that's what we're talking about here. So you guys can start typing your questions. While you do that, let's get a little housekeeping done. I'm the author of the new digital book. It's called Cars from Home: 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Here we are, and this is my system. Everything I'll be teaching during the stream today will be out of this book, and you can have, it's normally $97. That's the price of the book, but while you're on for the next 30 minutes, you can get a copy for $24, which is 75% off, in my TikTok bio and my Instagram bio. Or if you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can check the comments, or you can scan this QR code with your phone to get 75% off. But that 75% off is only good for 30 minutes. Once that timer hits 0, the price is $97, and it's worth every single penny. And there's no doubt about it. So let's get down to it. Welcome to the new people. Dolan, as soon as you get the first question, you can start sending them in. And guys, y'all can start typing your questions. All right, let's get down to business, okay? Let's stay by our keyboards and let's dialogue. It's easier for you to learn and for you to win if you're actually engaged versus passively learning. So let's get engaged. Let's talk some money. We're not talking about small money here. This is your money, all right? I'm winning with cars. The people that's listening to me are winning with cars. We're getting better deals than y'all, faster than y'all. I want y'all to win, but in order for you to win, you got to lock in. Okay, Stover04 from Instagram. How much would you advise my husband and I put into purchasing our teenage son's car? Well, it depends on how long they're going to keep the car. So the least expensive way to buy a car is to buy what we call a smart car. These are your $3,000 to $10,000 cars. You're typically getting, you typically want to get the smallest car with the least amenities, because when you get a car that was $20,000 to $25,000 new, you can typically find something in those models that it doesn't have too many miles for, you know, a couple $1,000s, you know, even up to $10,000, because again, these cars were only 20 to 25 grand new. These are your Hyundai Elantras, you know, your Civics, your Corollas, anything in that compact category. So if you want to pick up a car cash, that's going to be your cheapest way to go. Now, what I'm going to warn you against is doing what a lot of parents do, and that's go and finance their kid a car. Because our rule here is if you're not keeping a car more than 8 years, you're overpaying by not leasing. You should be shopping for great lease deals, not regular lease offers, not what everyone else is paying for their leases. Great lease deals the way we teach. So if you're not buying a car to keep, taking out a loan on a purchase, because think about this, every $5,000 on a loan is how much per month? Some of you have seen this in some of my videos. Every $5,000 is about how much per month on a monthly payment. Shout out to everybody tapping the screen on TikTok, running the likes up. Appreciate y'all. Every five, does anybody know? Let's see if we might have a bunch of new people on here and nobody knows. Every $5,000 on the purchase price of a car on a loan is about how much per month? Okay, $100 per month. So when you look at a $20,000 car, in fact, if you're saying I want to spend $300 a month, that's $15,000. You want to spend $400 a month, that's $20,000. And now I'm talking about for a 5-year loan. Some of you may say, well, I'll take a 6-year loan. Okay, that'll buy you a little bit more, but not much more. So maybe you can get $3,000 more on a 6-year loan, and you shouldn't be going past that. I have a rule in my book. It's called the rule of 72 and the 10th birthday. We never take a car loan longer than 72 months. That's the absolute max. And then we want our car paid off by the time it hits 10 years old. So when you're talking about getting a car for your child, you're exploring the multiple ways and avenues to get a car. So if you go and finance a car, you're getting and you say I want a $400 a month payment, that's a $20,000 car. Whereas a lease, that same $400 may get you a $35,000 brand new car. So it's really important that you kind of assess, do we want to spend the least amount of money possible on a car, scrape together some cash, get him a car, Facebook Marketplace, that he can drive for a couple years, and maybe when things change, we go out and we get a different car, or you're trying to get him a loan, or you're trying to get him a heavy car, something that is not too old, 5, 6, 7 years old. And in which case, if he's not keeping it 8 years, you should be shopping for a lease because you're going to overpay. I have tons of friends who've come to me over the years, and I remember I was leasing a Pontiac G6 when I was 22, and I was paying $256 a month, but I had a friend who was driving a brand new Toyota Corolla. So we both had brand new cars, but I was driving a brand new Pontiac G6, $256 a month, and they were driving a brand new Toyota Corolla for $500 a month. They both cost around the same thing. What's the difference? They bought and I leased. So what I saw for 3 years down the road is they were making $200 a month more higher payments than I was. And at the same time, 3-4 years down the road, that car was out of warranty. Even though the Corolla was a great car, I was on to my next car, and that car was becoming an older car for them already. So again, if you're keeping a car long term, buy it, pay it off, keep it 8, 9, 10 years, 12 years. But if that's not the goal, then you're absolutely losing buying cars. There's no doubt about it. All right. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. We are live. Whenever you guys don't see the banner above us, that means we're live. This is our 3 p.m. Live. This is episode 25 of Car Shopping Questions and Answers. We've done 25 episodes so far. And yeah, shout out to my man Dolan. He's been moderating most of them. All right, come on, y'all, type your questions, because as soon as the questions stop coming, that's the end of the live stream. When leasing, does it only apply to brand new cars? It does. There is, you may have heard about used car leasing. Here's why I don't talk about it, because you can't really shop a used car lease, because it's not a mainstream program. So when I was at Lexus for a few months. Some of you know I was with Mercedes for 5 years. I was with General Motors for 5 years, but I did spend a couple months at Lexus before I left and went back to Mercedes. And one of the things that I saw is that they were doing this used car leasing, but it wasn't a mainstream program. It was every now and then we had a used car and they're like, oh, let's work a lease deal on that. And what I don't like about that is you can't guarantee you paid the best price if you don't have anything to compare it to. That's how we win. That is our claim to fame here. When you look at the people who I'll be sharing throughout the broadcast, some of you have been on our previous lives. I've shared a lot of people who use what I teach. It's called the Cards from Home system. And what it is, it's a bidding system. So when you are and think about this, you shop for cars in a way like you don't shop for anything else. The way you shop for cars is unique to your car shopping. We shop for cars like we shop for everything else. When you shop using my way, we are shopping. You're going to feel like this is how I shop for other things, TVs, groceries. It's comparative shopping. And I'm leaving guaranteeing that I got a great value and paid the lowest price I could be paying because I have multiple offers and options to choose from. Whereas how you've been typically shopping is one offer, maybe two offers, and you go back and forth hoping you get a good deal, never truly knowing if the person was really overcharging you. Because there's no way for you to know if you're negotiating with me and I'm selling you a car, there's no way for you to know that the price you got was truly the bottom. Even when you walk away and come back, if I start $5,000 high, I could take off $4,000 and still win. I could take off $5,000 and still have margin. My competition might have taken off 7, 8. And so if we're not if we're not bringing competition to our car sales, this is how you're leaving, hoping you got a good deal. And that's just not a strategy that we employ, because most times if you're hoping you got a good deal, you didn't, unfortunately. It's just too much money involved. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's always about comparisons. And the only way to compare is to be shopping for a cookie cutter product, which is a brand new car, cookie cutter. There's, whatever car you like, there's 100,000 of them around the country. Even the most rare G-Wagons, Range Rovers, there's still a handful of them throughout the country. So the more rare the car is, the more we shop. If I was shopping for like a rare McLaren or Bentley, I'd shop the whole country because the potential to overpay is extremely high the more rare the car. And so on $200,000, $300,000 cars, I'd be shopping because shopping competitors might save me 50 grand versus just walking into a local dealer. But most cars are cookie cutter. When it comes to even used cars, when you find a used car, there's hundreds of them throughout the country. There's dozens of them within 100 miles of you. And we need to shop all these offers, and we do it in a strategic way. And that's how we save the most money. And we do that from home. We're not doing that sitting in a dealer at all. So that's the reason why I don't really support used car leasing, because it's not a mainstream thing and we can't compare the offers. Right? Great question. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next one up. Everything that I'm teaching is out of my new digital book, Cars from Home. Those of you who have your copy, enjoy it. I want you to send me your deals. I want you, when you get your deals, and I have not checked my email in over a week because we've had a busy week. So I know I have some emails to check, and I'll be bringing some of you guys deals into the show. I appreciate everybody who has written me about the book, emailed me, and I will get to those emails. I just had a busy week over the last week. Sherry on Facebook. New 2024 Honda HR-V with a $10,000 down payment. How to negotiate for a low payment of $350 for the difference. So this is bad procedure, Sherry, because what you're doing is you're combining two transactions into one. You're buying a car from someone, and then at the same time, you are working your loan with them. This is what's called payment shopping. This is how you lose 5 grand, 8 grand easily, because here's what you have not talked about. Who's going to sell the 2024 Honda HR-V to you at the lowest price? Hang on one second. All right. Sorry about that. Yes. So this is how you miss the mark, because when what we do here is we separate our transactions. You're giving the dealership two separate transactions at the same time. I'm going to get my loan from you, and then I'm going to buy a car from you. So that doesn't allow you to focus on what's important, which is the money in both of those transactions. There's big money in the loan, there's big money in the car. So when you're shopping, and this is how you leave thinking you got a deal because the payment was good. See, many people, you've been taught to leave the dealership thinking if the payment was good and I had to get a deal. If I got no money down, I had a good deal. Man, I got a good deal on this car. How do you know that? Well, man, I got it with no money down. Okay, what does that have to? That's not a favor. No, I have a video that says there's no money down is not a favor. How do we know we got a good deal on a car? We looked at a minimum of 5 offers because 4 of those offers are going to be overpriced. I've been working with people all around the country since 2021. I have over 6,000 people that have my book. I have over 2,000 students in my coaching program. The numbers show they all submit their deals to me, especially people in my coaching program, but even a couple of people in the book, we know the numbers. 80% of dealers are overpriced. So that's the reason why it's impossible for you to get a great deal and guarantee a great deal without getting 5 offers. So when I'm thinking about my payment, I'm not thinking about finding the Honda dealer that's going to sell me that car lower than anyone else. And some of you may not know, because I've had people who come on the stream and they're like, I didn't even know all dealers had different prices. Don't be ashamed if that's you. Some people think. They think it's like the Apple store. No matter what Apple store I go into, Texas, North Carolina, the prices are the same. They're all just providing a service for me. No, it's the exact opposite. Every single dealership is independently operated and they're in a competition. So if now that you know that, you can understand the gist of what I teach, which is putting these dealers against each other to save the most money. Now, independent of who's going to sell you the car for the lowest price, which is, see, because you're thinking about a payment. But if the Honda dealer you're talking to is $3,000 higher than their competition, where are you going? If this Honda dealer over here would have sold me the same car for $3,000 less, that's about $70 a month less, maybe $100 depending on the term. So there's your money. You need to find the dealer who's going to sell you the car at the lowest price. And we do that with a bidding system. You could do it your way. You want to pick up the phone, you want to call around. My way is online. In my book, I guide you through talking to dealers online, or rather typing, because we don't talk to dealers, typing, copying, and pasting to get offers. You could do it your way. I don't care how you do it. Just get 5 offers or you're not going to save money. It's just not going to happen. You're probably dealing with an 80% dealer who's not going to discount much, or who's going to mark up their car and create, or high rebates that you may qualify for. This is what the 80% do. Independent of that, we should be shopping our loan and our rate. Our payments are always between who's giving us our loan, not between the dealership. So banks, credit unions, in my book, I have something called the bank bidding war. Because remember, I just hit on how the money in the car, y'all. The money in the loan is a whole nother pot of gold. It's a whole nother profit center. Why do you think there's companies who want to give you loans, but they don't sell cars? They're in the money business, which means there's big money in the money business. So if you accept a 7% rate, but you could have got a 6% rate, that's $1,000. Depending on the term and how much you borrow, could be more. 1 point on your interest rate. So if we're not taking the shopping for our loan as serious as we're taking the shopping for our car, then we're not serious about getting deals. And that's what we do. So we break our transactions into a maximum of 3 transactions, and we are going to get bids for all of them. Who we buy our car from is one bid. Who we get our loan from is another bid. And then if we have a car to replace, we don't trade. That's a curse word here. We sell to cash buyers and we get bids there. So this is how we guarantee our best deals from home. And you're never going to do that in a dealer talking to one dealer. You can't even use a bidding system. So I would start there with the unlearning and like I would start there. You know, again, that's the old way to shop. It's what people have done for decades. It's what people were doing 30 years ago, Sherry. No different. You know what I'm saying? That should tell you something. 30 years ago, people were shopping for a car the same way that most people are still shopping. Even with the internet, even with tools, that should tell you something. We're not going to get the results we want using 30-year-old strategy, because car salespeople are not using 30-year-old strategy. They're trained every day on how to make you pay more. The bad ones are. Go ahead, Dolan. I see you, Q. Thanks for sharing. Shout out to the people tapping the screen on TikTok. If y'all can keep tapping the screen, running the likes up. Appreciate that. Exit 160 Entertainment. In your book, you talked about for a lease deal, the goal is zero out of pocket, but why do I see a cost associated with X amount of dollars due at signing? The goal, when we shop for a lease, our goal is not necessarily zero out of pocket. We shop our offers with only first month's payment due at signing. We don't shop our offers with money down because that confuses you. See, again, it goes back to Sherry's question. When you're putting money into the transaction, you don't realize sometimes, unless you're really good with math, how much you're buying down your payment. And people leave thinking, oh, well, my payment's good, so I guess I did good. You know you have a deal regardless of the money down. I'm going to give you an example. If you go in and you're looking at a $80,000 car and they say, I'm going to give it to you for 40, who would agree that's a deal? Yes? Brand new $80,000 car, right? $80,000 car, and they say, I'm going to give it to you for half off. 40,000. Right? Yes? Come on, y'all. Type fast. Type fast. You know we dialogue here. We can't go. We can't. You learn more by engaging. Okay? Don't be a passive learner. It's be active. All right? Perfect. All right. So when y'all see, everyone on here knows, Deshone, if I had an $80,000 car and they gave it to me for 40, half off, brand new, heck yeah, that's a deal. But what if they said, all right, well, but I need you to give me the whole 40 grand in cash? Does that make it not a deal? If they said, look, I need cash. I give it to you for half off. It's still a deal, right? You might not have the cash, but that's a deal, right? Exactly. That is likened to the fact that a deal is not predicated on how much money we need to bring to the table. You have a deal before you put money into the transaction. Before you look at what my payment is on it or whatever, you need to be able to look and say, that's a deal regardless of money I'm going to put into it. And how we equate when we shop for leases, we base it off the 1% rule. Now, I didn't create the 1% rule. The 1% rule was around way before I started shopping for cars. But I created the 1.5% rule. The 1% rule says if your lease payment on your car is under 1%, it was a steal. Great value. Your $40,000 car, $400 a month or lower, that is a steal. And then we have helped several people get under 1% leases. Greg has a lease, 0.9%, $56,000 Kia truck, $527 a month. Again, only first payment. You can't buy your way to under 1%. You can't put $4 grand down and say, oh, now my payment's under 1%. I got a deal. No, with no money going into the transaction. Look, Zafrina, $579 a month, $65,000 vehicle, almost $66,000 vehicle. That's a 0.88% lease deal. So $579 a month, $65,000 vehicle. This is a deal before we ever decide. Now, Frina may decide, I want to lower my payment a little bit. I'm going to put some money down. Instead of paying $579 a month, I want to get it to $500. That's my comfort zone. So she'll put 2,000 down to drop her payment. She has a deal before the money down. And that's the key. That's why we always shop with 0 down. So the 1% rule is what I just explained. There was no rule to show people they were overpaying for their leases. And this is all based on math. Because the minute everyone just goes and thinks, you're gonna go get a lease. If you go and you just go sign any lease, you could certainly lose. When you pay too much for a car you're giving back in 3 years, that was a loss. And what you do is you just add up the payments. So what I did was I said, when does a lease have no more value? When is it all right, I'm going to pass? Because lease deals are different on every vehicle. Some vehicles have bad lease programs. Even when we bid it out, dealers will take off thousands of dollars and the lease payment's still high because it's a bad lease program. They can't control the bank. They can't control the rate, the residual, the interest rate, any rebates that are not on it. They can't control that. That comes from the bank. So what happens is when we get bids on a vehicle, if all our offers are over 1.5%, every single one, and we get 5, that means that's the lease program's fault. That's not a dealer that's trying to overcharge us. Some of them will, but even if our best offer is 1.6 and everyone else is 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, that means that's the lease program. And that's a vehicle we would never lease. We would move on to a second choice. And that's why in my book, I always teach to have 2 to 3 choices when you're leasing. When you're purchasing, no, that's different because we're going to save the money easily. But again, we can't control a lease program. So we shop with 0 down so it doesn't confuse you. So when you're getting your offers, you can look and say, okay, is this offer under 1%? Is this offer between 1% and 1.5, which is a good deal? Is this offer over 1.5%, which is a bad lease deal? And so that's why if you were putting money into the transactions, it'd just be too confusing for you to compare all the offers. All right. Great question. Go ahead, Dolan. Can y'all keep tapping the screen on TikTok if y'all enjoying the stream? If y'all enjoying what we're doing over here, could every couple minutes y'all just tap the screen and keep running the likes up so we can let TikTok know we're talking big money over here and they need to send more people over here so we can protect people. It's people in dealerships right now. People leaving dealerships right now, getting 61 people on here. Listen, y'all know it. Thank you. All right, can we tap the screen, y'all? Can we tap the screen? Listen, I'm on here giving y'all my free information, okay? Look, people did not look. I didn't even make this information available for y'all for 3 years. All right? The least you could do is just show that you appreciate my time. God bless you. All right. You on here getting a bunch of free information that me and my people done used to save thousands of dollars. And they probably looking at me when I started doing these streams, a couple people that have paid to access my program had to be like, Deshone, like we paid to access the same stuff you giving them. I know, but I'm just here to help more people. So don't make me regret it. Okay. Don't make me regret it. All right. Let's share and let's support the broadcast. All right. 3D Stan from TikTok. Can you still lease with a low credit score or does it require a higher start amount? See, if I'm below, there's this manipulation range I call it. It's in that mid 6s, 650, 640. See, because you might get approved and you might get approved at a higher tier. And what that looks like is the higher tier will raise your payments significantly to where the lease is could be no longer valuable. So I always say profile matters more than score. So if you look at your profile, there's the second biggest thing that I've seen when it comes to your getting approved for a car is, have you had a car that you paid on time? The banks love that. The banks, when they see, thanks, Girl Interrupted, appreciate you. Shout out to the people who invest in themselves and support the show. When you look and see a when it comes to a paid car, The banks love that. And Mercedes was big on that. Literally, you could have overdue credit cards, but if you paid your car on time, they respected that, especially if you had a previous Mercedes. So that weighs a lot in terms of score. So if I'm a 650, but I got a paid car that I've been paying on time for 2 years straight, then I would go for the lease. Anything above that, I like to see you get to like 670, somewhere around that, because again, I have something in my book. What if you didn't get approved tier 1? Because sometimes you're in a manipulation zone where you are in that mid 6s and you'll get approved and they'll tell you, well, you're approved tier 3 or you're approved tier 5. Your payment goes up $90 a month. How do you know you're really approved tier 5? How do you know you're not really approved tier 1 and they're just taking a shot at you? So these are all the things that's important for you to know what to do when these things happen. So again, this is all in my book. We need to have multiple offers so that we can protect ourselves against that. Sometimes you really do qualify for tier 5, and sometimes they're taking a shot at you. And so, but yeah, I would say you want to be in that. If you got a strong profile, you've had car loans in the past, paid on time, mid 6s will do it for you in most cases. But if you don't have a car paid on time, you really, or you haven't had a car before, you really want to try to get to that higher 6s range, in my opinion. And it's different for every car. There's no real, hard rule. That's just kind of what I've seen over my decade and a half career. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one up, brother. Okay, y'all not playing with the likes now on TikTok. I appreciate it. See, all you need is a couple people that understand the reality, because look, y'all, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Like, I don't like doing these shows because they interrupt my day. Everything we do is digital. You get what I'm saying? We've been doing master classes for 3 years, bring a lot of people into our program. I just said, look, maybe we can help some more people by doing this live stream. But for real, I like doing nothing. That's why I write products and make digital products and put them in people's hands that can use them. I don't like doing a live show every day for 90 minutes. I don't. And I won't if it's not being supported. I'm just telling y'all. I'm a transparent guy. I really am. David R. Boquera on TikTok. I was thinking about leasing a Mercedes SUV. It's about 50 grand. Should I put money down? Okay, you need to go and you need to rewind, go to YouTube, and you need to watch the question we answered 2 questions ago, because someone asked a similar question, and I don't want to do that to the people that are on here. We got like probably 200 people on here between all the platforms. I don't want to just have them waiting or hearing the same question that we answered. But you should not be shopping with money down. That's not what you should be doing. So go to YouTube or go to Facebook where you can rewind the broadcast and just get that answer. We probably spent like 3-4 minutes on that answer. All right. Great question, and you need the answer to that. Just got a lease under 1.5. Hold on, Dolan, hold that question right there. I want to talk to this person I just so happen to see on TikTok. Beats by Blitz just said on TikTok, I just got a lease under 1.5%. The only time 1.5% is not the goal. You don't go into a dealership and say, yo, you got to get me under 1.5. If the only time I'm accepting a lease deal that's 1.4 is if it's my best offer out of 5. Because it's not hard for an overpriced dealer to get you under 1.5%, but it doesn't mean that you couldn't have got from like Danielle got. Danielle, 1.3, 1.2 Danielle got. Kimberly got a 0.97 on her Maserati. Hold on. Look, $520 a month on a Volkswagen Tiguan. I think this is like a 1.2. So again, if you go any of these people who got 1.2, 1.1, under 1%, if they had gone into the dealer and said, get me under 1.5, the dealer would have said, yo, hurry up and write this up before they change their mind. They have no idea what they're talking about. So the only time we're accepting 1.5 is if it's a tight lease program where I get all my offers and I got 1.4, 1.5, 1.7, 1.8. I always say if you don't see $150 to $200 a month difference between your best offer and your highest offer, you haven't shopped correctly. That's the way it works all the time. We've been doing this for 3 years with thousands of people. Your best offer, when you're looking at your worst offer, it should be $150 to $200 a month at least difference. And for some vehicles, it's going to be even more than that. There's some vehicles you'll be shopping and you'll be like, your best offer will be $300 to $400 a month lower than your highest offer. That's the numbers. So again, we don't go in with a goal of under 1.5%. We just know that if this is a vehicle we really like and we get all our offers and they're all over 1.5 except one, then that means that's the lease program. But that's a great deal for that vehicle. But we can't just go in. I try my best negotiating before going in. Listen, man, enjoy your vehicle. Enjoy your vehicle, bro. It's not an overpayment for the lease. So what I can say to you is you didn't overpay for the lease. I cannot guarantee, without 5 offers, I cannot guarantee you didn't overpay for that car. Without 5 offers, if I was shopping for that car, I cannot, and if you only shop one dealer, 1 offer, 2 offers, even if it's under 1.5%, I have no confidence that I couldn't have gotten 1.3 or 1.2 or 1.1 or even under 1%. We don't know. That's why you need offers. You have no price assurance. You have no price assurance. If I've said, bet me $1,000 right now that I can't get a better lease on that same car that you got. I can't bet me $1,000 that I can't get a better deal. Your confidence should be, Deshone, I'll take the bet because I shopped. I got all the offers. I have in my book, I have a strategy called the 25 to 5 strategy. We connect with 25 dealers online without talking. We use scripts, we get 5 offers, 5 to 7. So if you were getting offers, you'd be like, man, Deshone, I'll take the bet. But what I want for you is not just new cars. Everyone is getting new cars. Everyone is pulling up, posting, yo, boy, upgraded. What I want for you is price assurance. I want you guaranteeing that the money coming out of your household every month for that car is the lowest amount that could have been paid. I want you guaranteeing no one like me or someone who listens to me is pulling up next to you with that exact same car paying hundreds of dollars less than you. And that only comes through multiple offers. So again, it's under 1.5%. It's not a bad value lease, but it's negotiating 1-to-1. It's the old-fashioned way, and it's buyer's remorse prone. There's no way to guarantee it. And so enjoy the car, drive it, and I would just tell you, man, you see the difference is day and night. If you eventually decide to use what I teach, you'll see, oh, I see what Deshone was talking about. This is way different. I'm in control now. So you went in there and you had to negotiate, get me back and forth. I'm trying my best to negotiate. We don't try our best to negotiate. We're putting people against each other. I'm sitting at home and I'm talking to, I'm having conversations with my family. I'm eating lunch while I got a computer full of dealers competing for my business. And everyone who you're seeing, who I share, from Jared to Teddy to Zafrina to Pierre to Sean, to Charles, to Bonita, all these people do the exact same thing. They sit right at home and they let dealers compete for their business. They don't go into a deal and have to, come on now, sell me this car. You could do a little better. Come on, I know you going to lose my business over $20. Come on, you got $50 more a month. Why am I doing this to give you thousands of dollars? You deserve more than that. And everyone on here deserves more than that. Okay, WSM from TikTok. What do you think or rather, do you think there's any chance of getting money off MSRP on a 2025 Camry? Of course, man, bro, we don't. I haven't had anyone pay list price for. All right, let me give you an idea. Let me show you something from. Just so you know, this is Kimberly. Kimberly got $20,000 off her Maserati. $20,000 off her Maserati. This is, let's use a super popular vehicle. This was last year when the Toyota Camry hybrids, and they probably are still popular. This is the hybrid. Eddie, $2,086 under MSRP. That was last year. That was when dealers were still using the limited inventory, fresh out the pandemic. He got $2,086 off last year. See, I like to show some of these pandemic deals so y'all know we've been doing this since the pandemic. We didn't need the pandemic to end to save money on cars. So, but again, how do you know the bottom? You don't until you get bids. So when you go in, again, and if y'all understand that 8 out of 10 dealers are overpriced, a lot of these questions will be answered for you. See, unfortunately, you don't have the luxury of seeing deals from all around the country. I do. I got 2,000 students, 1,600 people in my private group, a couple thousand people with my book. That gives me the luxury of seeing if what I'm teaching works because people are going to tell me. And they submit their deals to me. We have a group, we do this. So once I started seeing that the same things that I had experienced when I was just using this for myself and my brokerage, I knew that most dealers are overpriced. I said, I wonder if when other people start using this, is most dealers going to be overpriced too? And that's when it became, yes, that's why we get 5 offers. So if there's 10 dealers on the street, 8 of them are overpriced. So when you walk in looking for your Toyota Camry, who are you walking into? There's an 80% chance you're in an overpriced dealer who's not going to discount or not going to discount much. Meanwhile, 2 of those dealers would beat everyone else, but how do you know who's who? You're going to walk into 10 dealers? You could do that. I would never recommend that. So you're either going to call all of those 10, get offers, or you're going to use a system like mine and sit at home and get offers from home. But there's no way for you to know the bottom. If Sean would have thought, and I use Sean because, again, when I look at Kimberly and Sean, they save so much money off their new cars. It's a great example. $73,000 truck. Sean saved over $20,000 off of it. Some of you may have a truck like this, an F-150 Lightning. If you have an F-150 Lightning or you know someone, if they didn't save 20 grand, then they overpaid. Sean just got his. They overpaid. So how do we know the bottom? Multiple offers. Because even when Sean submitted this to me and he said, what do you think about this deal? I said to him, I haven't seen the other offers yet. See, how do I know you can't save 30 grand? See, some of you would look and say, wow, he's saving 20. That gotta be the bottom. How do we know? What if he could have saved 25? I said, I haven't seen the other offers yet, but I'm assuming you got at least 5. You're saving over 20 grand on this with the discount and the rebate. But the only way to know is to compare to the other offers. Is this the lowest? If so, slam dunk. See, we don't wonder what the bottom is. And he said, yes, he got 15 quotes. See, because using my system, when you use what's in my book, you'll see the way I teach you with the copy and paste, you could go from getting 5 quotes to 10 quotes with another 20 minutes. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to go a little further. He said, I couldn't find anything under MSRP near me. So he opened his search up, went 150 miles out. He ended up saving over 20 grand. So this is why you don't feel for the bottom. If he would have thought, oh, you know what? Maybe, I'm sure somebody offered him 10 grand off. I'm sure. Even if they just gave him the rebate with no discount, just 15,000 in rebates. Okay, he could have said, man, I'm saving 15. This got to be the bottom. No, you find out the bottom through multiple offers. And that's quicker than you. By the time you're in one dealership, we've already gotten offers. You know what I'm saying? My process is 2 to 3 hours. And that's for the first timers. I do it in 60 minutes, but you're not going to do it in 60 minutes. Not your first time. Second time, maybe, because you're going to see, oh, this is rinse and repeat. But the first time using the system, I'd say you're going to need 3 hours. So by the time before someone even gets back from their dealership visit, the total time you put in, you got several offers. And that's the only way I could teach the shop. I don't teach any other way. I don't endorse any other way. I can't teach you how to shop the old way, make your old way. Yo, let me give you some negotiating tips. When you go in, say this, and then this, and then threaten to walk out. You're not doing none of that garbage. By the time you do that, I already have 5 offers. All right, go ahead, Dola. Shoot the next one. There's no 0 APR lease. Go ahead, Dola, my man. I know you got a couple questions, so I'll give you time to get them in. Somebody says, have you talked about the 0 APR lease? There is no 0 APR lease. There's very, very low money factors, but there's not 0. Anthony Jones on YouTube. What's your advice on putting money down on a vehicle? A lot of people are asking about money down today. If the vehicle, well, this is a little bit of a different question though. If the vehicle is $22,000, would it be wrong to put $10,000 down or half the amount? Absolutely not. Especially when interest rates are high. But here's how I answer this question, because it's never one size fits all. I don't believe in one size fits all car buying advice. I believe that's what's gotten you all in trouble, is watching this one size fits all car buying advice. So what I would tell you is, first, it's going to depend on what you're doing with your money. And then the second thing is, what are the rates? So the two things that are going to determine not just how much money we're going to put down, but also if we end up wanting to pay cash for a vehicle, is how much money are we earning on our money? And then what are the rates? And so I learned this when I was with General Motors, because when I was with General Motors, I worked in a white collar, blue collar town. So I had people that made $50,000 a year. I had people that made $50,000 a month, and Wall Street people. And that's really how I got into, because I always loved math. So when I started meeting with customers from Wall Street, it was great, because we had financial conversations about cars, and it helped me to learn a lot, and some of them learned. So when we would make the deal on the car, they would ask, what are the rates? And if I told them it was something like 0% or 2%, 1.99%, they would typicly take the loan, and then they would keep their money invested. I'm assuming their money was invested. And some of them I'd ask, they was like, why wouldn't I use the bank's money for free? See, when you consider the fact that your cash is making you money, if it's 8%, 10% more, some people are in real estate and other investments where they make more. The last thing these people want to do is put money into a negative transaction. Pay attention, not a break even. If I put 20,000 in a car, if I came back in 5 years and I could get my 20,000 back out, that'd be a break even. That means I got no return. But I can't get my 20,000 back out. And if I sold the asset, maybe I'm getting 50% less. Maybe my 20 grand is worth 10 less. I'm losing money on my money. People they would never do that. They keep their money invested. They use the bank's money. But again, the second part is important as well. What are the rates? So if the rates are 6 or 7 or 8, you don't want to use the bank's money at those rates, unless you're just making a whole lot more on your money, because some people that it may still make sense for them to keep their money invested. But that's why part of the bank bidding war strategy in my book is we always check for special interest rates. So you need to know what the rates are on the vehicle you're looking for, and then you need to consider what you're doing with your money. If rates are high and you're not really investing your money, then I would pay as much money into the car as possible. Pay it off fast, get it out the way, so that you can, continue to just have no, have minimum car payments or no car payments. But for those of you who are, you have your money in stocks or real estate or things like that, and or the vehicle you're looking for has a special interest rate, or one day when the bank's rates are low again, these are the people who could afford to, pay cash or put money down, but they don't. And again, it's based on the person. It's not a blanket. Everyone do this. All right, great question. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one up. Bree from YouTube. I have the video lessons. Can you explain how I find out if my lease is restricted to sell to a third party? If it is, what should I do? Okay, Bree, you should be in our private Facebook group, though. So all of you who want to know about what Bree's talking about, she has the video lesson. We have a private Facebook group. In my bio in TikTok is a link to my free masterclass. It's called Everything You're Doing Wrong Buying, Selling, and Leasing Cars. Oh, it's also on Instagram. And then we have a link in the comments for you guys who want to attend. That's where you can find out about my video program and my coaching program, but you can't find that out until you go through my masterclass and learn everything you've been doing wrong, because you need to unlearn a whole lot. But in your case, Bree, yeah, you should be in our private Facebook group. You don't need to come on these lives and ask me questions and hope I could catch you and hope Dolan sees you, But in the case of when you call, you're just asking your bank. That's all. Call your leasing company. That's step 2 of our process, is our equity assessment. Step 2, you just call, ask for your payoff, and then ask the leasing company, do you have a third-party restriction? And then in the videos, I have 3 different ways that you're going to handle your equity assessment. One is if you own your car. One is if you have a third-party restriction. One is if you don't. So just follow the video step by step, and don't overthink it at all. If you don't see me say it, don't do it. You shouldn't be doing anything that I don't say do in those videos. And you should just be doing everything that I say do step by step, and you'll be fine. Okay. And for those of you who the videos exist, guys, because everyone learns different. So those of you who are like Deshone, I like reading. I don't mind reading a step-by-step book. You should be using my book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. This is what you should be using. What Bree has access to is the same steps in video form with coaching. But the same 7 steps that Bree has access to is in this book. And this book is a whole lot less than Bree paid. That's why I don't want her on here, because she paid to have access to me personally. So you get access to the information, and this book is normally $97. But in my bio, as long as you get there before 30 minutes, you can get your copy for $24. As long as you get there before the 30-minute timer. In my TikTok bio, click that picture of me. In my Instagram bio, click the picture of me and click that website and get your copy before 30 minutes is up and the price goes back up to $97. I would leave the broadcast. You're not going to miss much. Go get your book before the timer runs out and come back to the broadcast. We'll be on here for another couple minutes. Okay. And for those of you on Facebook or YouTube, check the comment section. We have a comment pinned for you on YouTube where you can get your copy for 75% off. And then in Facebook, we have the comment section. And if you happen to be watching us on TV, because I know some of you do, you can scan this QR code here with your mobile phone's camera. Hold on, let me see if I can point to it. That one right there. All right. So get your 75% off and then come back to the broadcast. Go ahead, Dolan. Peace, great one from TikTok. What luxury manufacturers offers the best lease? It'd be nice if they were advertised that way. It's not. So let me give you an idea. Great lease deals are never advertised. They never will be. If they're advertising a lease offer, it's a normal offer. It's a market value offer. It's something anyone can get. Nothing special about it. Now, when you consider things like Kimberly and her Maserati, that's a luxury vehicle. She ended up saving 20 grand off the price. This is her best bid. She got bids. You're not going to get these prices not getting bids. So again, the reason I show you the people who listen to me, their results, is because the results that they get, y'all know, I'm not showing you a bunch of cars that I got. I'm showing you what the people who listen to me get. Every one of you, I'm sure, believes that I could get great deals, but I'm showing you their deals, but they're not getting these deals negotiating with dealers inside dealerships. They're getting these deals sitting at home and making dealers bid while they relax. So she got a lease. It was under 1.5%. That's her lease deal. $91,000 MSRP. Her lease payment is $944 a month. Let's see, who else is a luxury? BMW. Teddy got a BMW. I received 10 offers. Look, pay attention, because again, I know some of you are like, I want these results, but you got to be willing to unlearn and stop walking into dealers. See, if you're programmed like, oh, I don't care, I know it's painful, I hate it, but I'm just going to keep doing it, then you're not going to get the results that you see here. Look, this post is a bit wordy, but I'm too pumped. I will never, I repeat, never lease another vehicle any other way. This is Teddy's word. From start to finish, this deal took 6 days. I contacted 25 dealers in 4 nearby states. I'm on the Indiana border just outside Chicago. I received 10 offers. I only used the scripts provided. Closed on a 2024 BMW M50, i4 M50, $73,000, $73,855 car. Some of you have this. There are people who are watching this who have this car. Monthly payments $856 a month. This dealer's initial offer came in at $937. Then he used the counter offer calculator, which I created, which is also in my book, and he submitted his counter, and then they landed on $829 a month. $829 a month. He counted at $829. They landed on $856, which is a 1.16. So there is no, these are not, you think if we were to pull up the advertisement, if somebody wants to take the time and tell us what they're advertising this vehicle's lease for, it ain't gonna be this. you get what I'm saying? None of these deals that you guys see, these are below market deals. These are deals that the managers make. No one knows about them. They just want to sign them and get them out the door. I need to sell a car. These are not advertised deals. So we never look at advertisements to determine what a lease program is. The only way for us to know is to shop. So if I said, yo, you know what? I want to look at the Range Rover Velar. I wonder what the leases look like on that. I'm going to go using my process. I'm going to contact 25 dealers in 20 minutes. Using my scripts, I'll have offers in 24, 48 hours. I'll know what the best deal is on a Range Rover this month through offers, not by looking at a commercial. Now, mind you, those lease deals change every month. I'll know what the best offer is this month. So there's no other way. Again, unless you just want to walk in and pay what they're asking. That's it. If you want to do that, you want to pay what other people are paying, $200, $300, $400 more a month than what we're paying, God bless you. But that's not what we're going to do. And the only way for us to know what the best below market offer is on a car is to do our process. That's why it's so short. Okay? Great question. Go ahead, Dolan. WSM, thank you. That gives me hope. Amen. I don't even know what I answered from you, but I'm glad to hear you say that. Jerome Davis from Instagram, where do you find these deals? You sit at home and you learn to make dealers bid. This is not, see, look, y'all. If you guys could do what I do, then I wouldn't have the followers I have. Praise the Lord. I have 2.5 million followers across all these platforms. What I do is not normal. If I was teaching something that everyone could just do, there would be nothing special about us. We wouldn't have a book that's rated 5 stars. We wouldn't be, see, the thing is, new has come. And every now and then in different industries, God blesses us with new. And so everything you're looking at is based on your old experience. That's why I represent Unlearn, Relearn. Because what I found is my biggest problem is just trying to get you to unlearn what you've been programmed to do. So you're not going to get these deals until you stop shopping the way you've been shopping. Stop shopping the way you've been shopping. Change the way you shop. Instead of going in, spending hours or multiple days in one dealership, I'd like you to spend a short period of time at home and getting better results. Because you cannot put people against each other while you're there. You're in someone's house looking to buy an expensive item. It's a recipe for losing. You're in their house. They have something to sell you. You're excited about it. You have no leverage. You don't even realize that that same car you're looking at that's in that showroom, there's 30 of them within 150 miles. But we know we're going to find the dealers that have the 30, and we're going to talk to and see who out of the 30, who's going to sell it for the lowest. Different. That's why we enjoy the process. That's why you hear how, listen, one thing y'all notice when I share all of these people that listen to me, you notice how they're excited about their deal. You get what I'm saying? You might even look at Charles, got the Palisade lease. Some of you have a Palisade. Look, 1.2%, $48,595 Palisade. Charles is paying $597 a month. 1.23%. Look, you notice how we're excited, see, because that's what I tell people. Even Tiffany, who has my book. Tiffany, look, she's not just excited about her car. She wrote me about her deal. Look, I believe we got a good deal based on what we learned in the book. Using, look, we searched for the 2024 Mazda CX-90, $44,820, $6,530 off. The girl saved daggone 15% off the price. What's that? What's that percentage wise? $6,530, $6,500 off a $44,000 vehicle. Girl saved almost 15% off the price of the car. Some of you have this car. And you like, Deshone, I'll be honest, I didn't save that much off my car. I paid sticker. That means you overpaid by $6,000. See, if I pull up in a Mazda CX-90 and I paid sticker for it, and then somebody like Tiffany who used my book, who I'm telling you can get my book $24, get there before the 30 minutes is up, because then the $24 offer is off, and you got to pay $97, which is still a great price. Who wouldn't pay $97 to learn how they can save thousands every single car like Tiffany? But if Tiffany pulls up and she paid $6,500 less than me, that's $6,500 more in her house than me. That means I need to make $10,000 more to pay what Dave Ramsey calls a stupid tax. I wouldn't call it a stupid tax. In my way, I'll call it an unaware. $6,500 more. So if I'm driving a car and someone pulls up next to me paying thousands less and they drive in the exact same car, that's a shame. I'd be highly upset. So that's why I show these deals, because I know some of you have these cars, and the only way that you're going to snap out of the old programming that the dealerships have programmed you with is to see how much other people with skills have paid for the same cars you have. You know, I'm not the good news first person, y'all. I said that when I came up with my masterclass, Everything You're Doing Wrong Buying, Selling, Leasing Cars, where we go over 23 mistakes that most of you are making, and you've been programmed to make. It's not your fault. You've been programmed to make them. But I knew that that's when I started labeling I'm not the bad news first. I'm the bad news first person, because I'm not meeting you to tell you you're doing a good job. I'm not meeting you to tell you, hold on, it needs me to, I wish it'd be great. It'd be great if I run into you and I'm meeting you for the first time and my videos are like, you're doing a great job, Nancy. Darnell, man, you're doing a great job, man, but let me help you do better. That'd be great, but that's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for, I got in the car business 2006. My mission is to show everyone you're not doing good. You're not doing good. It's not your fault, because you didn't have access to the information. But now a previous car salesman who understands 99% of what's happening in the auto industry has created systems that you can use, and I've made them affordable for you. So now it's on you. See, when there's no information out there, it's not on you. It's just like you're a victim of corporate profits and capitalism. There's no way for you to escape it. You know, you got to come up with something your own. You could have stayed at home and shop cars. You could have figured it out. A couple people could have figured it out, but most people, that's the system. That's the way the car business is. But now we've been out here for years. We've been out here for 3 years. We got over 2.5 million followers. Everyone knows at this particular point that you can access information that will help you save money on cars. It's just about you believing in yourself. Because some people, I don't think you doubt my system. I don't think you doubt me. I think y'all know that I'm going to get great deals on cars better than most people. Now, you don't even doubt the fact that other people are using what I teach because we show them all day. What you're doubting is yourself. That's what you're doubting, yourself. But I've made the system so foolproof that you can't lose. That's why it's step by step. And I just say, don't talk. That's why I didn't want you negotiating. People go, oh, I'm going to come up with these scripts and y'all go in there and say them. Make sure you say them the way I'm telling you to say them, though. Don't say this and forget. No, I'm not going to send you in to negotiate with someone that negotiates for a living. We sit at home. We don't talk. We copy and paste. We use the internet and we save this money. Can't be much easier than that. So those of you who like Deshone, that's me. I'm ready. Go get your book. Click the picture in my TikTok bio. Get your 75% off. Get your book for $24. Same thing on Instagram. Click the picture of me and then click that website in my bio and click the button that says get 75% off and use the book immediately. Use the book immediately. For those of you who are on Facebook and YouTube, DeshonesBook.com in the comments. And we have a QR code if you're watching us on TV. Just scan it with your mobile phone. But yeah, this is different, y'all. Below market deals are not for everybody. They're not for everybody. If everybody was getting them, they wouldn't be below market deals. They'd be normal deals. You get what I'm saying? Somebody has to pay market value. Somebody has to pay above market value, or there wouldn't be no below market. So I'm only interested in the people that want below market. Go ahead, Dola, shoot the next one up. Dave on YouTube, is there a standard for negotiating room on a used car? 5, 6, 7% off asking price. So great question. That's a losing battle. Let me tell you what we should be doing. I created something called the true value percentage because I find, let me tell you a story. When I bought my Infiniti truck, I bought it 3 years pre-owned. It was 3 years old when I got it, but I had narrowed it down to 4. And so they were all priced between 30 and 32. All right. And I think the one I ended up getting might have been the most expensive one. It was like 31.8. So they're all white. Now, if I'm thinking like you, and I'm going to tell you the story, so you might forget what I'm going to say, but you won't forget the story. You know, you might forget the strategy, but you'll remember the story. So I'm looking at these 4 white Infiniti trucks online. In my book, I have a specific strategy, the way we shop for used cars. It's different than new cars and leases. We use the online marketplaces. There's 8 of them. We need to learn how to narrow it down. We need to know how to narrow it down based on accidents and title and service records and things that, and then we need to know how to get the window stickers so we can get the original price. So I have a strategy on how we get free Carfaxes. We need to be able to access the window sticker because this is why there's nothing more important than price. When it comes to your question, there's nothing more important than what I'm about to tell you. The steps we take before that is to make sure we're getting a good car. But your question's about price, not about quality cars. Price. If I would have looked at those 4 Infinitis and I would have said, you know what? Let me ask them all to take off $4,000. And whoever takes off $4,000, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go with them. I'm going to just make up a number. Now, I already knew based on my research, these were all at the bottom of the market. That's another thing about my system. We can't get below market deals if we don't know what the market is. So when I looked at these 4 cars, I got the original window sticker, and one of them was $46,000 brand new. One of them was $48,000. One of them was $52,000, and the one I ended up getting was $54,500 special edition. All these features, cameras everywhere, self-driving, I wouldn't have known that. Now, had I picked a vehicle that I could have gotten a little more off on, then I would have picked the wrong vehicle. And let's say, okay, they saved me another 2,000 because none of those people would have took off 4,000 because I'm shopping at the bottom of the market. So let's say somebody says, you know what, Deshone, I'll sell you this one for 29 instead of 31. I'll take $2,000 off. Now that's the lowest price Infinity truck of everyone I'm looking at. But what happens if that's the $46,000 one? So I got $2,000 off the $46,000 one, where I could have paid a little more and got the $54,000. This is what I created called the true value percentage. See, these marketplaces are designed to sell cars for the people that pay them. The dealers that pay them to advertise, their job is to sell their cars. So you'll never see a marketplace that's going to show you the true value percentage, because had they had the true value percentage during the pandemic, you would have seen some people who bought Toyota Camrys for $29,000 that were $30,000 brand new. There were people who were buying 3-year-old Toyota Camrys, paying $29,000 when they were 30 grand brand new. You would have saw such a small value from the true value percentage, small discount from the new price. See, what I care about when it comes to buying a used car and making sure once I find out what the bottom of the market is, my next mission is which vehicle that I'm going to narrow it down to is going to give me the biggest discount from the new price. From the new price. That's where I win. A dealer might say, Deshone, honestly, I can't discount it anymore. I got it priced perfectly. Another dealer says, I'll give you money off. But when I do the math on what the original price is, well, you're only saving me, even with your discount, you're only saving me 25% off the new price. This person over here can't give me a discount, but they're saving me 40% off the new price. And in my case, I got 42% off on my Infinity truck. It was 54.5. I paid 31.8. No extra fees, no bogus fees. That's another part of our system. Before we actually go to see a car, we make sure there's no bogus fees. And this is it. But see, my first book was called the 52 car buying questions smart people don't ask that cost them thousands. That was my first book. That book today on Goodreads still has about I think about 70 or 80 5-star reviews. It's the questions you don't know to ask that's costing you the money. You're asking the best questions you can. You're asking the questions you know to ask. It's the quality of questions. It's like a whole different, the curtain gets pulled back. You're right, Deshone. I never thought about even considering the original price on a used car that I'm buying. Now you see in the last 60 seconds, 90 seconds, you see this is extremely important. In fact, there's nothing more important than that. We must know the original price. Okay? That's what we care about when it comes to discount. Gary Sound, what else do you sell besides this book? I have an online school. I have a car buying school called Cars from Home University. So that's what we do. We're in the education business. Go ahead, Dolan. Sharonda from Facebook. I have a 2018 Jaguar F-Pace that I want to trade in because it's out of warranty. How should I go about it on another luxury car? You should be leasing. You should be leasing. You should not be buying cars and trading them in because they're out of warranty. And I'm going to tell you why. You're trading your cars in. One, you're trading them. You're not selling them. So you're not getting all the money you could be getting for them. In our process, we have an equity assessment where we get cash offers. We get bids from at least 6 different cash buyers. We don't trade because you don't get anything when you trade. You don't get what anything's worth. If I took this hat and said, hey, I'll trade you this hat for whatever, I'm not getting how much this hat is worth. The only way I'm going to get how much this hat is worth is to put it on the market and see who's willing to pay the most for it. That's it. Like a car, you have competitors, people who want to buy your car. But the biggest thing for you is you're losing tons of money buying these cars that you are not leasing. You should be shopping for great lease deals. You're replacing your cars while they're losing the most value. This is your car's value. That Jaguar you got, whatever you paid for it was here. Now it's here. This is what I call the unseen expense. This is why when you buy a car, even if you park it outside, you paid 40 grand for it, you parked it outside, never drove it 1 mile. You come back later, a year later, it's not worth 40 grand anymore. It's worth probably 35 at most, even if you didn't touch it. How did I lose $5,000 of value? Depreciation. So what you're doing is in your first 5 years, you're losing the most money in depreciation. Your car is losing thousands of dollars in value for the first 5 years, 6 years even. Once you get to the point where you're keeping it, where eventually it starts to level out. You're not losing as much value anymore. That's the people who should be buying cars. Those people don't trade cars or don't replace cars because they don't have a warranty on them. Some of you have cars on here. How many years, if anybody on here, if you have a car outside that you've had more than 8 years, type the number of years you've had the car outside of your house. The number of years you've had the car, type it in the comments. Only if it's more than 8. If it's less than 8, then that's not it. We're answering your question now, Gary. This is the lease versus buy. Step 1 of my book is I'm showing you cannot get a great deal if you buy, but you should have leased. It is impossible. You have overpaid by thousands of dollars. If you buy, I don't care how good of a deal you get. It's impossible to not overpay by thousands of dollars if you buy when you should have leased. So again, we're talking about depreciation. You got Mike, got a 10-year-old car outside and a 9-year-old car. Gary got an 11-year-old car. Michael got a 17-year-old car. Trash Girl, 9-year-old car. So now here's the thing, Sharonda. The benefit of them purchasing is now their car will not be losing much value anymore. Whatever Michael J. Speed's car is worth, let's say it's worth $5,000 because he's had it for 17 years. It could be worth $2,000. It's going to be worth the same next year. At some point, you beat depreciation. Only goal with purchasing is to get to the point where you've kept the car long enough to beat the depreciation. If you paid $40,000 for a Jaguar and then you trade it in or replace it when it's now worth 20, 3 years later, you lost. All that depreciation. See, this is why it has nothing to do with your car payment. See, most payment shoppers who only care about payment, you never get to see how much money you're losing. But if you are a cash buyer, you would see how much money your vehicles are losing. Payment buyers, you just go in and you say, well, listen, I'm ready to upgrade. Well, my payment on the old one was $575. Could you keep me there? Okay, let me manipulate some numbers, throw the loan in, boom, boom. All right, we got you to $590. Okay, that'll work. Don't care how much you got for your old car, how much you paid for the new car. Just get me to that payment, and you're losing thousands. You're the people that, people take vacations when they sell you a car. Commissions $1,000 when they sell you a car. Dealership makes 10 grand. Payment buyers, we can't do this. So what you should be doing, Sharonda, is leasing if you're not keeping your car 8 years anymore. You should not be buying. And I'm going to give you a real life example of a brother who I know. He's a partner of mine. And he found me. Our kids were in a karate class together. And we later ended up doing some business together. And he's in banking. And he never saw anything like what we do. And he had a Kia Telluride. And his wife got into an accident a couple of months ago. She totaled it. And he said, Deshone, I've been hearing about this 8-year rule thing you say, where if you're not buying a car 8 years, you shouldn't be buying. You should be shopping for great lease deals. And I said, yeah, that's the rule. It's been the rule. He said, all right, because I'm not keeping this car 8 years. I'll probably keep it maybe 4 or 5, and then I would just go get a new one. I said, you should be leasing. He goes and he gets a new Kia Telluride for $479 a month, where his old one that his wife was driving that was totaled was almost $800 a month. So do you think he needs any type of nudging anymore to understand the benefits of leasing for him? He was driving a car Same car. In fact, it was an older one because at this, I think it was 2 years old when she totaled it, and it was almost $800 a month. He literally gets a great lease deal, getting offers. His best offer is $479. So he has a brand new Kia Telluride outside of his house, and his payment, same car he just had for the last 2 years, his payment is almost $300 a month lower. This is real money. This ain't no small money. That's why when I see these videos, when me and my students, we see these videos of people, average car payment is $1,000. We know why. It's the information you are using is not serving you anymore. The only way it benefits you to purchase a car is if you plan to pay it off and keep it till the wheels fall off, like Michael and like by all these people. But if you are not that person, then you should not be buying cars. And not only should you not be, you're overspending by thousands and thousands of dollars every year to drive old cars with no warranty, when people who are leasing are driving brand new cars with warranty and paying less than you. If you just stop listening to these people who gave you all this bad advice about leasing, y'all are going to be okay. Y'all on your way to being okay if y'all stop listening to the Dave Ramseys of the world who told y'all leasing was the most expensive way to own a car. If I had Dave right now, I say, Dave, bet me $100,000 that I can't show you right now that leasing is absolutely the best for certain people who are not keeping their cars 8 years. You want to put your money where your mouth is? Because I love what, listen, and it's no shot against Dave when it comes to what he's done for families, helping people invest in the stock market, mutual funds, get out of debt. God bless you there. But when it comes to this car stuff, you're speaking incorrectly and you're speaking very loud. You're loud and incorrect, confidently wrong. I call that a dangerous combination. You're confident and wrong. So the rule is the rule. You can't look at what these people are paying. Look at what these people are paying, $579 for their lease. That's a $65,000 car. If Zafrina bought that truck, she'd be paying $1,100 a month. Bonita, when she got her Kia Telluride, this was during the pandemic, 2022. See, people were leasing these Tellurides for $800-900 a month during the pandemic. She got hers for $600 a month using our Cars from Home system. Look, $600, that's probably a $43,000 truck she got. That would have been, with taxes, almost $900 a month for 5 years, $800 a month for 6 years. She's paying $600. It's impossible to get a great deal when you buy when you should have leased. It's impossible. Okay? You just pick your mileage, Trini. That's all you do. You just choose the correct mileage. Because you pay for the mileage whether you buy or lease. That's another misconception. Trini, I think Trina, okay, I'm good. Trina on TikTok said, don't they monitor the mileage? You pay for the mileage no matter what. Remember what I told y'all? It's not that you don't understand leasing. You don't understand depreciation. Depreciation is what you truly don't understand. It's not leasing. See, when you understand that, when you buy a car, you park it out. In fact, bring it back 3 days. I got an emergency. I got to get out of the car. I need you to buy it back from me. I don't need a car. I need to get out of it. Are you getting what you paid for the car? Yes or no? Let's say no or no. You bought a $40,000 car, brought it back 3 days later. That's it. 3 days. What's that car worth? Exactly. You didn't even drive it. Another example. You bought the car, parked it outside. I didn't drive the car 1 single mile. Come back. It's worth 10 grand less in a year. This is depreciation. Now, when you talk about mileage, those of you who are like, well, there's high mileage leases. I teach all the time about high mileage leases. It's in my book. There's people who lease and pay less than you, high mileage drivers, because you buy. And the thing about driving more is you depreciate your car more. You destroy, instead of the normal person car's value goes down like this, you high mileage drivers, you're going down like this. You putting 25,000 miles a year on your car, but you're taking 5 and 6 year loans like you don't. You're taking 5-year loans, you coming back 200,000 miles on your car. You're putting 25,000 miles. You're putting 100,000 miles on your car in 4 years. which means you destroyed the car's value, but you still owe 70% of the loan. This is all you're doing is just pushing your losses to the back. You think, oh, I'm gonna buy my car, I want to drive as much as I want. That's why I got 3 strategies for high mileage drivers in my book. You're not driving as much as you want and not paying for it. You don't understand depreciation. Now that everybody on here, we've spent a good amount of time hitting on depreciation. If I drive normally and my car loses $5,000 in value a year, what am I going to lose driving 25,000 miles a year? You're paying for it in depreciation. You depreciate your car, and when you own it, you got to wear that. You have to wear anything that happens with that car. If it gets 100,000 miles in 2 years on it, there's your value. You destroyed it. So what we're teaching you to do is how to avoid the depreciation, which is losing you the thousands and thousands of dollars. You're either going to keep your car long term. If I was a high mileage driver, but I wanted to keep my car 8 years, that wouldn't be a problem. I just get me something. I drive 30,000 miles a year, keep my car at least 8 years, put 240,000 miles on it, and then I go and replace it. No need to lease. But if I'm buying and I'm flipping cars and getting out of them in 3 and 4 years, and I'm putting 20,000 miles a year on it, negative equity all day long. I know what those transactions look like. I've helped a lot of people change their strategy. People coming to the dealership, yeah, man, I'm a high mileage driver. I'm in sales. Or I'm a realtor. I'm a high mileage driver. But you buy your cars? Yeah, about 5 years. I just, this one got about, 175,000 miles on it. Okay. And you still owe money on it? Yeah, a little bit. But the car is worthless now. So you're 10 grand negative equity all the time. Uber drivers, same thing. You got to understand depreciation. You don't get to drive as much as you want without paying for the car. So we're going to pay. Now we know, no matter whether we buy or whether we lease, we're paying for what we use. Now, what is my strategy to pay the least amount for my depreciation? Great lease, I avoid the depreciation hit. Long-term ownership, 8+ years, I avoid the depreciation hit. But y'all that's in that 2 year to 6 year to 7 year, y'all flipping cars, you're losing more than I can get across to you. And hopefully it's sinking in. Okay, go ahead, Dolan. All right. Say your images from Instagram. I just chimed in. Is it best to lease from a leasing company or directly from the dealership? Got your book, by the way. Thank you. Trying to decide if I should buy or lease. It's always the 8-year rule. That's why it's the only exception is if you're going to get a smart car, which is a very inexpensive car, $3,000 to $10,000. If you're buying like normal later model cars, then it's an 8-year rule. If I'm not keeping the car 8 years, then I should be shopping for great lease deals. And when using the book, you'll see I walk you through picking whatever you want and then going on the dealers' websites and getting bids directly from the dealers. We don't deal with leasing company. I mean, a leasing company can bid, but what leasing companies have typically done, and I own one in the past, is they hope you trust them more than the dealers. And when you're working with a leasing company or a broker, you are giving them control of your transaction. So I'll sell your car, I'll get you the new deal, and I'm controlling all of that money. And so, I know a lot of rich brokers with houses on the water, because the good thing about being a broker is dealerships pay you like a dealership, not like a salesman. So if the deal makes $5,000, then we're probably going to split that. $2,500 for me, $2,500 for the dealer. And so, a lot of rich brokers. So what I'm doing is never giving anyone control of my transaction to where there could be profit in there that I didn't know about, because I let them control it. Oh, you just do it for me. Now, what we plan to do, and we're considering it, is see, when we shop for people, I've shopped for people and we've tried this using our system. And I always do it for a few test groups. But the only way to guarantee that a person who's shopping for you is actually not keeping profit for themselves is they need to report all the offers to you. So when we did this, we submitted a spreadsheet with here's all the dealers we connected with, here's the offers, here's the one, here's the best one, here's the people who bid on your old car, here's the best one. You know, if it's just, oh, I'm calling you and okay, the best payment is $527 a month. Okay, yeah, there's no transparency there. And so that's the only way that I would ever let someone shop for me is if they were giving me that type of report, basically a market report of the work they did, all the offers. Then I'll know that they're not holding on to profit. But yeah, just follow us in the book and you'll see. We just reach out to the dealers on their websites. The scripts are in there. Fill in the blank, copy and paste. Be the easiest thing you ever did. Okay, keep me posted. Go ahead, Dolan. Okay. This is Diana Dela Cruz from Instagram. Hold on one second. My fault. All right, this is Diana Dela Cruz from Instagram. I wanted a Toyota or a Honda, but they are higher than I want to spend. Is Kia or Hyundai a decent car? Plan to own for 8+ years. We don't. Who's higher? One dealer? See, and look, I don't know how to get it across to everybody. I'm just going to continue to repeat. One dealer is one dealer. See, and people used to come and say, oh, yeah, I wanted the Nissan, but Nissan is overpriced. Or people will be like their leases up and they're like, oh, you're not gonna believe what Nissan wants for the new ones. Nissan, you mean one Nissan dealer. And this comes from not really understanding or knowing that these dealers are independent and they're different. It's not Nissan. And I know that sometimes, look, because I'm not assuming anything. Some people, because of the way you shop for other things, again, the Apple store, you're used to when I go into this store, they're all the same. I'm just gonna go to whichever one's closest to me. That's not cars, y'all. That's not cars. You can do that with the Apple store. I'm gonna go for convenience. The convenience with dealerships doesn't exist because they're competing with each other. So when you say the only way Honda's overpriced is if you looked at 5 offers from Honda and you saw they were all overpriced, but that's not going to happen. The dealer you worked with was overpriced. And it's a shame that they'll run you away from the brand and run you to another brand or your second or third or fourth choice because you dealt with an 80% dealer. 80% dealers are overpriced. That's what they do. They are high. They're going to hold on to their price. They're going to stay firm on their price. They're going to say, this is what the market is. They're going to say, this is what everybody's paying. In fact, you're paying a little less. I know it's high, but the offer we're making you is a little less than everyone else is paying. Really, it still seems high. That's what the 80% of dealers do. And the 80% of dealers exist because you don't know how to properly shop. That's why the 80% of dealers exist. You don't know how to properly shop to put them out of business or to make them change. I'm going to tell y'all this. We could change the car business in one day. It's not going to happen though, because people are going to do what people are going to do. But once the dealership if the dealerships know how many people come into the dealership every month, every weekend, Memorial Day, holidays. As long as the showrooms are still full, why would they change anything? We got 200 people that walked in in 2 days. Saturday and Memorial Day, 200 people walked in the dealership. Why would we ever do anything different? Picture you having a business where people just came in like crazy. You got a barbershop. You got a restaurant. It's just people just come in. No ad. It's just you run some commercials and same time on the weekends, they come right in the door. Holidays, they come right in the door. Now, when those 300 people that come in turn to 200 and then turn to 100, and then the 200 internet inquiries that they get turn to 300 and then 400, and they see, wait, we're seeing less people come in the door and we're seeing more people shopping online correctly. Wait, what's going on here? Now 50 people are walking in the door. Wait, we got to do something. So the people who are not trying to deal and make, they're going to see we can't continue to work like this. They'll change overnight. The car business responds to what the people do. They don't proactively go and make stuff that are going to benefit you. It's not what they do. That's a normal business. You're proactively trying to see how can we make our customers happy. That's not the car business. Car business is status quo. Let's not rock the boat. We got people coming in. They come in all year. We're making great money. Like, let's not change anything. When you change and stop coming in, car business will change overnight. But until you do that, they're not going to change. Why would that? Why would that? So that is the name of the game. Stop walking into dealerships. You don't know who you're dealing with, and most of the time you're dealing with 80% dealers, which are overpriced dealers who are gonna fight you for their money, and they rather not see you buy a car from them. All right, fine. All right, thanks for coming in. They rather not see you buy a car from them than to discount more to earn your business. But we sit at home and we just deal with their competition. People come on my videos all the time. Listen, you could say that, man, but we still hold the cards. Man, okay, we buy from your competition, Joe. Joe, you'll never even have a chance to talk to me. You could talk to Mike Dolan if he's still rolling the old way. You could talk to Mark Davis, Joanna, if they still rolling the old way. If they rolling the new way, you won't even talk to them either. Because we're going to buy from your competition. Your competition, you all this, because you got people coming in buying from you and falling for what you say. Not me, and not the people who are willing to listen to me. So if you want everything I teach in one place, you can get the information anywhere you want in my free social media videos, live streams. But those of you who you can tell that, see, one thing I know is there are several buying profiles. Some of you are going to buy, some of you are going to lease, some of you don't have credit, some of you are a high mileage driver, some of you have negative equity, some of you have a lease to sell. You didn't even know you could sell a lease. Some of you have a lease with a third-party restriction. You're going to sell that. Like we're not talking to the same people. In fact, there's 14 different buyer profiles that I created. That's why we can't sit on here and talk one size fits all. If you were all the same, then we can just talk one size fits all. But in my book is a path for everybody. 7 steps, doesn't matter what your situation is. 7 steps is called Cars from Home. So this is the Cars from Home system that you will use for the rest of your life to be like all of these other people that I showed in the stream, to get deals, below market deals, without even being in dealerships. We're only in dealerships to test drive or to pick up our car or to have our car appraised. And none of those things take more than 20 to 30 minutes each. And some of you won't even be in the dealership if you're getting your car delivered. So you can get your copy for 75% off. It's normally $97 in my TikTok bio. Click the picture of me or click the picture of me in my Instagram bio. Grab your copy by clicking that website and use it immediately. Transform your understanding. But when you get the book, forget everything you learned. That's why I say you can't learn my system and use it as I'm walking you through these steps while you still got this old way in your head. You got to be willing to forsake that totally. Be like all of these people that embraced it and said, Deshone, I'm just going to trust your process. Charles, Kimberly, Eddie, all these people. Look, Vincent, Danielle, Greg, Tope, all of these people, I'm going to trust your process, Deshone. And we got thousands more. I just picked these. So, but that's how you got to come. You got to be willing to unlearn. So get your copy in my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio, or I'll put the banner up one more time for you. Go to DeshonesBook.com in the comments. We have it pinned for you, or scan the QR code with your phone. All right. Until then, I'll see y'all on the next stream. I'll see y'all on episode 26. Thank you, Laurel Nana. God bless everybody. See y'all soon.